Hi, this is Lifescripts and I'm Kavya Satyamurthy. என்னுடைய லிஸ்ட் ஆஃப் people that people want to know aboutல வந்து I have Jaytesh with me today. Hi Jaytesh.
Hi.
Hi. Jaytesh is someone who was recommended by other people on Instagram.
Oh, okay.
Invite him, we would like to know about him அப்படின்னு சொல்லி
Okay.
கூப்பிட்டாங்க.
என்னை பற்றி நான் ஏற்கனவே நிறைய பேசியிருக்கேன் ஆன்லைன் பட் கூல் ஐ கெஸ் ஷுர் through your eyes probably people want to know, that's why.
Maybe, yeah, because I ask something completely unrelated to
Exactly.
what they're doing in life. Do you like treasure hunts?
I love games. I'm a gamer by heart always.
Okay. Let's say there is a treasure hunt where you have the most valuable thing on the other end,
The treasure.
the treasure, and you have the most challenging hurdle before that. What would that hurdle be?
I think the hardest hurdle for me, like I said, I'm a gamer, so my first thought process in my mind would always be funny dhaan paakalam, let's try it out. So finding out the solution is always how I will try it. So hardest task na, even I'm not sure what I can think of, but if I have to think of something that I absolutely won't do, that I would not like doing, would be maybe inflicting onto somebody else. என்ன பண்ண சொல்லலாம், I can put myself through hardship and pain, that I'm fine with, but involving another person and maybe, doing something negative or painful to them, I would not want to do, no matter what. It's just against my entire principles. So yeah, that would be the task.
And what would you do that for?
ட்ரெஷருக்கு வந்திருக்கோம் இப்போ. I guess for a greater good. So I'm always that person who gets the controversy when people ask me that trolley question, will you run the trolley over one person or four people? Now I'll always choose saving the four people. That's just who I am wired as a person. And if the treasure is something that is altruistic, which is something for the greater good that helps a lot of people, then yes, I wouldn't mind inflicting on that one person. Hopefully if that person deserves it too. Yeah, and I would do that, because I can never do that for a selfish reason, and that even if it's a materialistic reason, I will still use that for a greater upliftment of people around me. I know நான் புல்திமா தான் பேசிட்டு இருக்கேன், but it's not what I want to get across. It's that's just how I've been wired. I can't think of any, like an iPhone or freaking all the riches in the world. Again, I'll only think of how I can use that to invent something that will make sense to the society. So that's all I can ever think of as a treasure.
எல்லா ஆசைக்குமே வந்து எக்ஸ்டர்னல் தடங்களும் இருக்குது, இன்டர்னல் தடங்களும் இருக்குது. ஸோ வாட் ஆர் த எக்ஸ்டர்னல் blocks that you have that stop you from achieving greater good each and every time you try?
Simple, money.
Okay.
I mean, if I had enough money, I would invest it in the right places, right equipment, right people, and do a lot more of what I want to do. I'm a struggling entrepreneur and a struggling actor. So I think before actor, obviously, it has been actor before. Right now, it's entrepreneur. And you would always want more money to be doing what you believe is good, though. So I know the most raw answer to that is money, but I think outside of money would be a better answer would be opportunity. If you had the right opportunity, the right doors open, contacts, and obviously money to be able to do that, then I feel we can do everything. That's all.
Okay. So what is something in you that is sometimes stopping you from doing the greater good?
In me would be, I think, the feeling of being overwhelmed. Every time we start off on a task, right, you always have this one annoying voice in your head that goes, hey, நீ வேலை பண்ணி என்னத்தை புடுங்க போற, அவனை பாரு எவ்வளோ பண்ணியிருக்கா, நீ அவன் ஏஜுக்கு வர முடியுமா, you think you'll ever be there. For example, the very podcast, right, when we were doing Tick Pods, obviously I'll keep looking up at episodes of Joe Rogan, of Ranveer Alabadia, and I'm like, that one thought in my head that goes, you are never going to be there because of A, B, C, D, E, F, G. So that thought process, I think, is the biggest blockade to what I do for myself internally.
So it's your logical, will you call it the logical mind or the critical mind?
Both, one combination of both.
லாஜிக்காவும் பேசுறியே, உன்னை எப்படி நான் வந்து அட்டாக் பண்ணுறது? ஸோ கம்மிங் டு த கெட்டிங் டு நோ யூ பார்ட். ஸோ ஜெயதேஷோட லைஃப்பை வந்து ஒரு பேர்ட்ஸ் ஐ வியூவில் பார்க்குறப்போ Now there are some particular dots that I can place, I mean you can place, and say, you were fresh when you were born as Jaytesh. And then this made one kind of a Jaytesh, and this dot made another kind of another trait, and this dot added another trait to Jaytesh. Abhine sila events இருக்கும். Those events can be simple to me, but it can be serious to you, or serious to me but simple to you, or favorable according to me, unfavorable according to you. So whatever it is, but it's for you, how was it and how did it shape you அப்படிங்கிற நிறைய டாட்ஸ் இருக்கும் லைஃப்ல. அதில் whichever you are okay with sharing, can you share like 3 main milestones, 3 main events?
Genuinely saying only 3 is the problem for me. அதுதான் பிரச்சனையே. ஏன்னா நிறைய milestones kept happening that kept shaping me, kept throwing me in new branches, and pushing me in new avenues of life that I never thought I'd go in.
Okay.
ஆனால் குறிப்பாக கேட்கணும்னா I guess it would be okay, I'll answer it in 2 different prongs maybe. One in terms of life, like character, and another in terms of career. Right? In terms of life, I think I always used to be this happy-go-lucky kid, always like blabbering, expressing myself. Until I think when I was 7 years old or 6 years old or 5 even, I don't remember. We were going in the car with my family, and as usual, I was just yapping blah 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 about my life. And it was one comment my brother made, and I'm only saying this because the moment you asked this question, it hit first in my head, which means that is the first thing that impacted me the most. It was something he said where like, you really think anyone cares about all this, just shut up. And I think till now I do carry that trauma of every time I want to share something, I stop myself because that one question always comes and hits me in the head. Do you really think that person gives a shit about this? Just stop. And that's what is my biggest challenge even today, because be it my fiance or my friends or my parents, they always come to me saying, why don't you just talk? Why don't you express what's on your head?
Okay.
And I also know it's very lazy to just blame it on this, saying, oh, this is why I'm not doing it. And it's very foolish of me to say also this is why, because that's not why. That's probably just a indicator to tell me or to use as an excuse to say why. I think I just use that to start building these walls around myself, saying nobody cares, it's fine, you're better off by yourself. And of course, with Ramana Maharshi's saying of Summa iru, that kind of also stuck in my head majorly, saying just keep quiet. And then over time in life I kept peeling off the layers, and even now I keep peeling and realizing the essence of what he meant by Summa iru. It's on a much bigger scale which I can't comprehend right now. I'll comprehend much more later in life, but yeah, it is something that I'm still working on. I'm still working on opening up to people. I'm still working on even, expressing leave alone my deepest thoughts, even my most shallowest of thoughts. So I guess that was an event that shaped that. And right now, as and when a lot of loved ones talk to me and tell me, "Dey, when days in the face thoda or 4 round pota dhaan pesiyadi," is something that I'm still working on. And yeah, I think right now in life though, as and when I kept, probably cutting down on the number of social connections that I have, is when I start having a lot more time and energy for the ones that really matter, and I'm automatically starting to open up with them. Topics that I thought that they wouldn't be interested in, topics that I thought that they would think that I am, lame or basic for thinking about or even talking about, I am discovering that are actually fine. This is what people do, this is what people talk about, this is how bonds are made. You just overthought this all your while, and right now I'm rediscovering all of that. So
I just went through a whole range of thoughts while you were saying this, because I am on the same page with this aspect, and I have been recently going through this same phase of, okay, நானும் சின்ன வயசுல ரொம்ப பேசுவேன், அதுக்கப்புறம் I also became like silent, and then after you start getting spiritual, you understand that yes, on one level you understand that your thoughts don't matter.
Yeah.
But then here there are people, how do you live life here while
for sure
knowing that your thoughts don't matter? So எப்போ பேசணும், எதெல்லாம் பேசணும், அது okay, sometimes you have to talk knowing that it doesn't matter. Sometimes you should stop talking knowing that it doesn't matter. அது எப்போ தெரியாது.
I think Krishna answers this best in one of the tales that we all are familiar with. I think we know the tale, but we don't know the significance of the tale. To address the same thing of how a lot of us, I think in this generation, we've bitten this spiritual bug, and we've taken too much from how much we should take. For example, the best tale is, you all know about the little finger in the mountain, Govardhan mountain tale. The reason the entire thing happens is because people in that area always used to worship only the gods above, and they always do yagnas for the gods, for Indra and for everyone. And that's when Krishna lifted the mountain and he brought everyone below. And that's because he told people saying, we need to worship Meru, the Mount Govardhan right there. Let's worship the mountain, not the gods in the sky. Worship the material on ground things around you. You're getting rain because of the mountain. The clouds go there. It was a very scientific explanation, which we call science today, which he used as the material world back in the day. So that's the same example of what we're all going through right now. That we keep going into the spiritual bug of thinking, oh yeah, you know what, nothing matters. Let's just keep quiet. Everything is Maya, right? Why should I even talk? But no, you're living this life.
Yeah.
You are here 2 feet on the ground right now in Chennai having this conversation with you, another human being. So your thoughts do matter.
Thanks for explaining that. And what's your second significance?
Career is one ping pong ball only. It keeps going fort all over the place. I think the best way for me to put this is, a lot of my friends will have this one look at me every time we'll talk about some movies like Rajinikanth Ponal, be it Muthu, Basha, and நான் கேஷுவலா சொல்லுவேன், பாஷா நான் பார்க்கல மச்சான், அப்படியே ஒரு 10 பேர் சுத்தம், என்னது பாஷா பார்க்கலையா, எங்கடா பிறந்த நீ? I'm like, yeah bro, என் வீட்டில் என்ன படம் பார்க்க விடல. So the first Tamil movie that I've ever watched in my life was, you will have the same expression right now, was Chandramukhi. So you can imagine that my house never believed in watching movies as we were growing up. Only the kind of movies that had positive impacts, so like Gandhi or Pearl Harbor. And again, these are the only 2 movies I've watched. Other than this, maybe in the it's a CD like Harry Potter, one bunch I've seen, or like something like that. But Tamil movies was just a no. So I was always pushed away from cinema, and somehow my career, it kind of shifted and it threw me right in cinema. Boom. I ended up taking web series, I ended up acting in other web series, I ended up being a creator on YouTube. I guess the various events that led up to it, it can't be any one event. It's all like the 1%. இங்க போய் இதை பண்ண, இங்க போய் அவரை மீட் பண்ண, அங்க போயிட்டு இதை பண்ண, இங்க போயிட்டு ரேண்டமாக அதை பண்ண. And then I ended up forming Paracetamol Paniyaram on a whim, really. I was sitting in Trendloud. We all started a channel called Madras Meter together. And I was the one obviously sitting and handling everything, right from scripting, ideation, handling as in not just me, everyone were a team, but I was the one taking up the coordination for most of it. And while I was sitting through this whole process, I'm like, oh brother, this is the whole shebang. இது நம்மளே பண்ணலாமேடா. And because I was studying media sciences in Anna University, I'm like, this is what I'm studying as a course. So this is what is the big deal in doing all this. And the ones editing it was my classmate, the one writing it was another classmate of mine. So one day in class we just go and we're like, மச்சான் நம்ம யூடியூப் சேனல் ஆரம்பிக்கிறோம்டா. Just like every மச்சான் நம்ம சேர்ந்து ஒரு டீ கடை ஆரம்பிக்கிறோம்டா. We were like, let's start this. And that's how we started PP.
I think a creative industry la irundale, it is something that is, it's not one thing you do, you get to do 100%, as
you can't.
A creative person.
Just do that. It's not even like you don't want to. It's not you don't have the luxury to be able to do
exactly
that. Like சோறு வேணும்னா நீ மத்தது பண்ணணும், வேற வழி இல்ல. What about you? Do you do just podcasting?
No, but which is why I'm so excited about this answer. Like chumma everybody keeps, I mean, now people keep saying you are multi-talented, but according to my family, I'm always a confused person. She just doesn't know what to do. Hey, I know I want to do all of it. That's
it's called being a generalist, by the way. இது நான் ரொம்ப ரீசெண்டா டிஸ்கவர் பண்ணேன். ஓ இதையும் ஒரு டேலண்ட் தானா? ஓ ஓகே गाइस, சாரி நான் தான் இத தப்பா நினைச்சிட்டேன். But doing multiple things also is one category, and there is one, demand for that as well. What are the multiple things that you do?
I do. I'm also a mental health counselor. I'm an assistant director.
Okay, nice.
I like writing, so in the movie discussions, all of that. I'm a designer, graphic designs. So I also do digital marketing.
Okay.
Event management.
Super.
I'm doing hosting events and coordinating events.
Yeah, I think that's the starter pack.
That's thank you. Someone just validated my existence.
No doubt. Anybody in this field?
In this field, actually, I feel empathized only. It's only the outsiders who see it as.
They have the luxury. They have the luxury to say, okay, நான் இந்த ஆஃபீஸ்க்கு போறேன், நான் இந்த டெஸ்க்ல உட்காரேன், நான் அதை பண்றேன். It's a very big luxury, I understand. I did that, which is why I understand the luxury. I started off my career as being the marketing head of one corporate, sitting in an office and doing just that.
How was it?
I couldn't. Oh yeah, that I can give you a one thing that made me realize, fuck, I can't do this. You know what made me realize that? Something as small as a Snapchat story.
Okay.
My Snapchat stories before I joined the job was, it was diverse. I'd be putting up random shit every day. As when I kept going to that job for 3 months, it used to be just my car, my desk, my shoe. I'm like, hey, இதுதான் என் வாழ்க்கை இப்போ. Is this what I'm going to be living for the next however many years of my life? Fuck, I can't do this. I don't care how much of money you pay me, bro. I'm sorry, I'm quitting. I cannot do this.
So, is there a third incident that
Another
defined
quadrant தான் நான் யோசிக்கணும். Oh, a third incident you're asking. Yeah, of course. It has to be credit to my past relationship, which is become quite well known to a lot of people thanks to who both of us were as personalities. I think during the course of that relationship, I experienced a whole new different side of myself.
Okay.
And there is no wrong, right at all. I 100% had to go through that. And I did in all my glory. But the thing that happened at the end of it is I realized fully well that that is not something that I want to pursue throughout my life. It is one of those things. It's like that really spicy chip that you eat once and you record your reactions on camera and you get good content. But I can't eat that for breakfast, dinner and lunch every day. So that realization hit me, and I think luckily I had to go through that to never have this yearning, like how you said, வாழ்க்கையில் எல்லாத்தையும் experience பண்ணோம். Like right now I'm at this space where even if I do see someone doing something really wacky out there, I'm just like, chill bro, been there, done that, and I am peaceful right now where I am. I don't want to be, entering that lifestyle again. If it does come, like I'll go inside, I'll like take one bite of it, and I know how to go and take that bite and get out myself without getting fully involved in that and getting fully engrossed in that one particular trip alone. So yeah, that for sure has to be another formative incident.
Yeah, okay. That I am assuming that if I ask you, will you change anything, you're going to say no. But the reality is, நம்ம அதை மாற்றாததுனால நமக்கு கண்டிப்பாக ஒரு பெனிஃபிட் கிடைச்சதுனால தான் அதை மாற்ற வேண்டாம்னு சொல்கிறோம். ஆனால் அதை மாற்றாததுனால கண்டிப்பாக நமக்கு ஒரு லாஸும் இருந்திருக்கும்.
What is loss really?
Something that you can't get back.
And is that a bad thing?
That's up to you to tell me.
Exactly. So, see, okay, I study astrology, Vedic astrology, and one of the most basic principles in that is, கெட்டது நல்லதுன்றது எதுவுமே இல்லை. There is just happenings. There's only cause and effect. So, if we look at something as a loss, it's never really a bad thing. Yes, there is loss. There's an entire house dedicated to loss. There's an entire house dedicated to gain. That's all they are. It's just loss and gain. If you lose something, you are gaining something else because of the vacuum of that space being created. So I don't regret losing out on anything. Even if it was immense pain being inflicted, I gained so much of more experience because of that. I gained so much more of understanding of how to deal with the scenario because of that. I gained a lot more, or rather, I lost a lot more fake connections because of that, you could say. And that's fine. Losing things is not a bad thing at all. So that is why I keep saying I would not want to change anything. Because it just does not make sense to say I really like this thing and I would like to hold on to it for the rest of my life. It just does not make sense. It cannot. If you truly love it, you have to be ready to let it go at one point.
When you say it from a meta perspective, yes, nothing is a loss. Adala okay, but as a human, there is something, a part of you that has gone, illaya, being the vulnerable.
I guess this, yeah, for sure. In the of I let go of my YouTube career early because of that voice in my head that I said. That was only one small factor, but outside of that, there are many other factors too of me running the business. But again, when I'm going back in retrospect, it's not like I gave up completely. The only thing that stopped me from doing that completely is because I had the cushion of a company that kept offering a lot of support in terms of equipment or cash or like time, contacts, which is why I could keep building that YouTube thing. And we stopped beyond a point because we just genuinely couldn't go beyond it. We tried our best. We started a whole new company. We did videos. We got paid from them. Then they stopped paying us. We kept doing videos. Then we did videos by ourselves. Ran out of money. Ran out of pulls. Ran out of contacts to use. Then we did videos for other people. We got paid from that. Ran out of that also. Then we again made videos for ourselves. We made web series, ran out of that too. Then made videos. So I think at the heart of hearts, I have kept trying to do. That's just been my philosophy. Even today, my only thing that's on my head is if I have time and the freedom or the luxury, I just want to go and script a video and shoot myself and upload it again.
How was your journey of என்ன சொல்றது being very engaged with your senses, all of that, and cutting that down? How did that happen? Did you have that
I
journey?
think we always keep having that journey. That's a constant that we can't avoid. Maybe the amount that we chase that will reduce as you go through life. Because on the gross level, maybe you will reduce, but on the a little higher level, like a more subtle level, you start chasing those. So I think, yeah, of course, I did chase pleasure majorly through an entire part of my life where we did do everything possible, pop everything that was possible. Ramod said, we pretty much sucked the marrow out of life, like Robbie Williams said. But of course, that comes with a huge cost as well. And then when you deal with the pain of that reverse karmic effect, you kind of realize like, okay, edume free, everything comes with a cost. So instead of, taking that one hit of dopamine and, having one 6 to 12 hour trip, life itself gives you that dopamine and it is spread across a much larger period of time. That is all that all the scriptures, all our elders keep telling us to not do those one few hits, just spread it over time. The issue is we screw up our dopamine receptors by doing that hit. Then once you do that, you don't know how to recognize the shorter hits of dopamine anymore. And life keeps throwing it at you, but we just don't know how to even recognize and seek that anymore. And the moment we start seeking that is when you experience a lot more healthier options of life. This was actually something I realized best when I used to wear the mala, when I go to Sabrimala. So in that one period, 41 days, I don't do anything, right? Obviously, you don't eat chicken, you don't smoke up, you don't drink, nothing at all. First 5 days will be super hard, you'll be frustrated. Then by the 10th day, you get a little numb. By the 15th day is when your receptors start getting activated to the smaller hits of dopamine. And that genuinely makes you feel so much better. That's when by the 21st, by the 30th day, I generally get these things where people like Sadhguru and all say, they don't chuma say that, they're not lying at all. When he says things like, I'm always high, I don't need these things, that's kind of what he means. Because he started to recognize how to extract it from the universe system naturally, which are beautiful things, like something as simple as right now, a rainy day, going out and seeing the ocean, watching that kinetic energy keep happening again and again. Those are all beautiful things that nature itself has inscribed for us. But we tend to close ourselves indoors and say like, okay, now let's do this and get this trip indoors and stare at this one pattern that is already beautiful, but see that moves and it's even more beautiful right now. It's only because we are used to one immense hit.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think I forgot what this question was.
Yeah. So what are some practices or இப்போ அந்த transformation நடக்கிறதுக்கு, okay, you already gave me one answer while doing your Sabarimala and the 40 days of that. And then consciously you would have done certain things to do it more or less. So what are all those
I have
things?
certain kolgaigal which is like சூரியன் இருக்கிற நேரத்துல no bodai பொருட்கள். That is a very simple thing. I just base my entire life based on how it's been handed us down to us mostly, because of course I went through my rebel phase. I'm like, screw all this shit, all you guys telling me everything is wrong, I will do my own path. Then eventually I only realized that, oh shit, okay, all these are meant for us to take up something. So when the sun is out, the sun by its natural energy force is for you to do things, to go out and work. So work when the sun is out. But of course, everything, you have yin yang, you have white or black, black or white. So there is no hard and fast rule. So I won't say that you can ever do something in the sun is out. When you're on vacation on a Sunday, go get smashed on as soon as you wake up, fucking bake whatever you want to do it. But have that one thing of like, you're on vacation, which is why. Only then you tend to enjoy it more. So that's one kuti kolge that I have, which is Surya Ganyathla, don't do anything. And yeah, of course, another thing is, when I've seen, since I've been in a lot of artists too, I've seen some artists where we do get high at one point. And then there is a point when everyone there realizes saturation aidichu. But there will be that one more guy who's just like sitting and like either pouring or rolling, and that will also be smoke. Why? Because of the vibe of the atti. If you don't do that, then you're not cool anymore. You're nee or mocha piece. That's all. But everybody is at one thing, or probably one or two will be at one lower thing, and they'll want to come back to that higher state. And because the other ones don't want to lose out, they'll also want to smoke that, and that's just a waste of the substance and of your thing. So I think things like that, if you are just certain, like what, I'm good, and if you can tell your peers that nee sut mude, I'm good now, I think that itself is a big step forward. So yeah, little practices like this here and there, wherever, it does make a huge difference. Oh yeah, drink a lot of freaking water. When you are getting smashed, make sure that ஒரு மிக்ஸிங்ல எப்பவுமே தண்ணியில் நான் ஒரு ஜக் ஆஃப் தண்ணி குடிச்சு தூங்கு. You will not have anything as a fucking hangover the next day.
Okay.
It's things like this.
Okay.
What about you? Do you have any life hacks like this?
Life hacks like this? I don't do anything that anything too much. I don't do anything too much.
Okay, so you're in your moderation.
Yeah.
Okay, I think other way you're already in that hack level there, guys.
Yeah. I think comes with I think the body tells you போதும் அவ்வளவுதான் அந்த I think I'm very connected to my body in that sense.
How do you listen to your body though? That's something that I've always been curious about. A lot of people say you can't listen to your body much. I will tell you, and I'm like, bro, how? I really don't know how to listen to my heart or my nose. What is it telling me?
இல்ல எனக்கு that is only sensations. Like it's இப்போ it makes you sweat a lot. Your body எனக்கு வந்து சிக்கன் சாப்பிட்டா half an hourல or அன்னைக்கு நைட்டு திடீர்னு தூங்கிட்டு இருக்கும்போது குப்புன்னு வேர்க்கும், அப்படியே சூடா புகையா கிளம்பும், எந்திச்சு ஒரு பாட்டில் தண்ணி குடிச்சாதான் என்னால் தூங்க முடியும். ஸோ either my body is over reactive to every substance, or I am very aware of it. அது எனக்கு தெரியல. பட் இட்ஸ் pretty, இப்போ எனி ஸ்பைஸ் I can easily understand. சாப்பிடும்போதே I can feel that it's not going well inside. So
yes, I sort of understand. I asked the same thing to another friend too. He tells me about how when he enters certain rooms, he can feel the energy of the room. I'm like, eppadi? You tell me how you feel it. I need to understand. Take me to the thought process. And then he saw me, he's like, seri, ivan edho badil kudtha ivan povan. And he told me one way that he does it, which is smell.
Okay.
Like the smell of the room will tell you. It gives you an idea of the vibes as well.
Yeah.
So that is what I was like hinting at. But yeah, you gave me something.
When we say sweat, feel, we obviously mean some sensory
exactly
input.
Yeah. I guess sweat or sensation also makes sense.
Okay. Cool. What is one life lesson that you will say in one line that you would like to tell other people from your life?
I guess since I've seen a lot of my friends and people in my age chase this spirituality bug, please understand that letting go of everything and sitting in an ashram and just meditating is not spirituality. Being a karma yogi is mostly what you are destined to do, and you have to do that. So do it. Live life to the fullest, and don't just sit back in one place. And like even something that I experienced recently is, don't rely on an external force to come and give you something. Even when Krishna was on the battlefield, he was with Arjuna. Arjuna was the one who shot all the arrows. Krishna literally told him how to do it. So don't expect things to just come land on your lap. Go out there, do the work, scratch, hit, toil, and then it will automatically come. Even if it doesn't come, it will eventually come. Like Om Shanti Om's dialogue, agar wo nahi aaya to wo end nahi hai, which I'm not obviously saying it right, but in essence it's that. And yeah, I think just to take a chill pill, to not overthink, overanalyze, and compare ourselves to our peers and go like, oh my god, that person's got all of this. Like, yo bro, you got that, you got something else. Life is a horizontal radius always. It's never a vertical graph. So if someone's got career sorted, shouldn't be looking at it that way, but then they probably will have some other balance of it screwed up. It's only a pie chart. It cannot go beyond that pie chart. So maybe if you feel like you're not doing something, then just look at your pie chart, see where you're spending most of your energy, and readjust it accordingly. டே 1ல நடக்காது, டே 10ல நடக்காது, டே 20லையும் நடக்காது, டே 60 90லையும் நடக்கும், கண்டிப்பாக நடக்கும். ஸோ யா, ப்ராப்ளி தட்.
What is your idea of an ideal life for yourself?
My fiance kind of told me this, which kind of makes sense too, which is there are 3 balls in your life, and one is made of iron, one is made of wood, and one is made of glass. The one made of glass is the most important thing, which is your relationships, and that once it's broken, it's very hard to fix it back. So I think that's the most important thing that you got to always keep top priority, your relationships, which includes your family, your friends, and all of that. Then comes your health. Sorry, my bad. I think health came first. Yeah, that's the first one. And then comes relationships. Obviously, take care of your health first, because if your health is not there, you can't maintain a relationship with anyone else. Put your oxygen mask on first before helping the other person. Then comes the whole thing of relationships, where make sure that you don't, ruin that. And the iron ball is your career. Which can be robust. You throw it, you break it, you do anything with it, it can still be fine. Of course, you need to give some attention to it, but not your all. I know I'm sounding super ironic right now, because I am doing that. I know I'm giving most of my attention and focus to my career ball only right now, because I'm a little cocky that the other 2 balls seem fine.
Okay.
Because I know that I've invested enough of time and energy in them to keep them fine. But every now and then, I know that there is some sort of one vibration that will happen in that ball, and that will come to me through people telling me, or me itself feeling my body talking to me, like you said, where I'm like, okay, and the ball edho prachana irukku, va poi paathu varalam. So things like that is the thing. But I'm guessing this priority is something that's been handed to us, like our health, our relationships, and then our career, which is money, material, everything.
So since you've already told me about you reading a lot of self-help books, what is one self-help book that you think it's a must-read?
Autobiography of a Yogi is a definite must-read for everybody in the world.
Okay.
But the catch with that book is, it is not a book that you go pick up, it is a book that comes to you.
Okay.
And it's very true, because I've seen this happen in so many people's lives. I've seen many personalities quote that book, and that was not why I started to read it. And I'm saying personalities, it's people like Steve Jobs, Rajnikant, like I think even Obama at some point, a lot of people. And you see this book in most houses somewhere there, because it's played such an instrumental role in their lives. It's got an energy of its own. The only reason I started reading that book even is because I was literally meeting a person that I met randomly that day, because he came to meet the person I was meeting. And as he was talking about his life, blah, 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 he took out his book and he's like, in the book, yaar வாழ்க்கையில போயிருக்க, அதுக்கப்புறம் வாழ்க்கை அதே மாதிரி இருந்ததில்லை. He gave me the book. இந்த வச்சுக்கோ. And at that point, I was very rational realist. I'm like, பெரிய book, சரி ஒரு பார்த்துக்கலாம் சொல்லிட்டு உள்ள வச்சேன். And then, as in when I just, randomly picked up that book and started reading it, miracles just kept unfolding in my life.
Wonderful.
Like, it just kept happening. Like, when I have doubts in the book, it'll happen in real life. When I have doubts in real life, it'll get answered in the book. But then I also realized, because I spoke so much about this, people around me also kind of want to read the book, and they did. They picked it up, and like people very close to me also bought the book, and they tried reading it. Just within the first chapter itself, that book will go back to the cupboard. I've seen it, because it is like that. It's not something that you can consume when you're not ready for it.
Okay.
It is. That's why I use the phrase, "The book will choose you. It'll come to you."
Okay.
And not you going to it. But of course, if I have to give a more practical piece of advice, what book you can pick up for someone in a career, I think recently a book that has made a huge impact on me was definitely Loon Shots. Loon Shots is by this person called Safi Bakol, and it talks about the greatest discoveries, movements, and inventions in life. And things like, he talks about things like world wars, what won America the World War II, and things like language, why the business world talks in English and not in Chinese or Sanskrit for that matter. And he breaks it down with his own theory, of course, but it makes a lot of sense.
Okay.
So it gives you a lot of understanding of how the world worked, and what are little small micro changes that made immensely huge butterfly effect macro changes in the entire world we know today. Because think about it, naturally you go back in time, the most powerful empires were China and India. We were the ones who were ruling the entire world literally. But I'm talking to you right now in English. Yeah. So that he breaks it down, and he talks about the various reasons. Things like that is what. And that book was really interesting. I'm still reading that book.
Okay.
I have that thing with books, like ஒரு தடவை ஃபுல்லாக முடிச்சேன்னா I'll be like, oh man, I can't read again. So கொஞ்சம் வச்சு படிப்பேன் அது. I still have a few chapters left. So that's currently what's impacting me the most in life.
Okay. What is one thing that you changed about yourself?
I think it was getting rid of the notion that a structured, organized lifestyle is boring. And I used to look down upon it. I used to think, look at these boring guys doing a 9 to 5 and living by a schedule.
Yes.
And I thought that I was one, much more cooler person who could like just go with the flow. Right now, my life revolves around my Google Calendar. So if I don't know, right now out of this interview, I don't know what I'm doing. I'll take the calendar and be like, oh, okay, fine. And then I'll go do that. And now is when I realized the freedom in order. Someone who I used to look up to told me that there is a lot of freedom in order. Now is when I'm starting to understand it, that, having order in your life, having a particular routine is the most beautiful thing that can happen. The sun rises at this time every fucking day. The moon comes up at this day tirelessly without complaining for a reason. It is the way it is. We all go through our phases of rebel, but eventually we will, fall into the path of routine.
Yeah.
So
there's no other way. There's nothing else to do here.
இதுதான் உங்களோட pathway. So இந்த வாழ்க்கைக்கு இந்த ஜென்மத்துக்கு you were born to these parents to this particular path not because someone in the sky chose it for you, because hello flash news, you chose it for yourself. So when I understood that too, that's when a lot of things like family values, where I was born, where I am doing, who are my parents, kind of just made sense, and that's where I am right now. And I feel a lot more at peace, a lot more, mentally stable. And even though, my financial situation is not yet where I would want it to even comfortably be, I know I have this comfort in the back of my head. I know that I will get there. So yeah, there is a lot of beauty. There's a lot of excitement in order, in stability too. That is something that I realized, and I keep practicing too.
Yeah. I also realized that pretty ஒரு 2 வருஷம் முன்னாடி தான் அதெல்லாம் ஒரு தாட்டாவே அப்பதான் வர ஆரம்பிச்சது. Until then it does feel like it's exciting to do whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
But there's so much planning, there is so much uncertainty, and there is no end to that. You're not going anywhere with that.
Yeah.
If you're choosing.
100% for sure. I think, how old are you now?
I'm 28.
Yeah, it's
about time you realized in
No, I was doing the 7 math and seeing if it made sense.
Okay.
7, then 14, 21, 28.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Maybe that's how most of us go through. In the third 7, we go through that phase, and then onwards, we hit this phase probably. I don't know, it might work that way. The best way I sort of also realized this thing is, hilariously, was party planning. It sounds like such a lame thing to do, planning for a party.
Yeah.
But then I realized how fucking amazing it is when you plan for a party. Because I used to host shit ton of parties at my place before. Obviously, without planning much. The only planning was like, Macha, nee sarak vaangittu vaa, nee soru vaangittu vaa, ellarum vandirunga, done. And yeah, it was fun, but it was only one level of fun. There was not much more that happened there. The only things that would be exciting is one bugger making out with someone in my corner. That's all you can even aspire to. And then recently for my engagement party, when we had a party to plan the party.
Okay.
And that was... It wasn't us just chilling. We actually did like some solid work. We're like, okay, this part is going to be for tables, this is going to be for beer pong, that's going to be for dancing, we're going to have one thing here. And there were a lot of people contributing ideas and all. It seemed in my head, there was that voice went like, hey, ellarum vandu kudichittu matte da poraanga, adukku poi ivlo oru planning pannuma. But then I screwed that voice back of my head. I'm like, no, let's do this. And that party was amazing. It wasn't like any of our previous parties. We still had that same comfort, that fun vibeness, but because of the planning aspect, a lot of other people who are new to that space, who didn't know a lot of people too, also managed to have fun. So that's something that I realized, that even something as random and chaotic as a party needs to be planned. Only then it ends up becoming fun. We need to channel that inner Monica in us to say.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah. Okay.
Rules make games fun.
Yeah, exactly. That is very true too. You realize that only when you tell
there's a challenge, there's a boundary.
Yeah, when there is no boundary. Where I realized this also was when in Kerala I was playing carrom board. You know what? Why do we have to keep striker here and place? I can keep it here and do whatever you want. It seemed fun in that few seconds. The next moment the striker went to my cousin. He's like, oh, enna pannalama? Okay, and he flipped the entire board. And that's when I'm like, oh. Okay. thanks universe, and now I understand. So yeah, things like that is when you like, cool guys.
Yeah. Okay, so that was the end of our conversation.
Wow. Okay, that was quite
Yeah.
a trip. Nice. Thanks for that.
I really enjoyed, like, my social life is pretty much non-existent, and all these podcasts are the times when I actually get to
Wow.
see new people and have a
I am
conversation
so
like
envious
this.
of you. You get so much more time to focus and do the things that you want to be doing.
I
but-
do.
Yeah,
That's true.
exactly. But I'm glad too. It was really. I think I'm super glad because I'm usually on that side. I'm the one instigating the conversation. I'm the one keeping it going. For once, it was interesting to see how you are doing it. I learned so much from this. I definitely made a lot of mental notes, and I think over a point, even I got a little lazy with my podcasting. Of course, Bharati helps me out with a lot. She gives me like one, a flow to go with. But beyond that, it depends on that conversation. I just steer it based on what they're talking and I go. But, you're having a structure, a flow of, this, we can
That's
talk
my
about these
backup.
things.
So that
Exactly.
if this
It's-
doesn't go, I'll
Pull
pick it
from
up
that,
from
right?
there. Yeah.
That's why it's always good to plan and have all of this. So I learned a lot from that too. And
Okay.
it was really nice also interacting with you
Yes.
because you have a lot of insight yourself. I think you're a very wise person. You've gone through a lot of life. I can see that in your eyes itself that you've been hit quite a lot. Like "Nariya adi vaangirukenda, vaangada," you have that vibe about you, which is why you're able to take in a lot of different stories, process it, and give it back in a form that's consumable. So
Thank you.
yeah, I'm
That
glad
summary
here.
means a lot. I'm like, that just made me vulnerable for 2 seconds.
Yeah, no, it
Thank you
takes
for
one to
saying.
know what, right? That's why I feel like, okay.
Thank you for coming
So,
and being
yes.
open.
No problem, anytime. Anything for a fellow creator, guys. Anytime.
Bye.
So, cool, guys. Please follow, subscribe, and share it to everybody you know. I know how hard it is, me telling all my friends, like, share pandra, like, stuff. So, if you found any part of this which was relatable, any one bugger that you think needs to hear anything here, tag that bugger. Don't feel bad for tagging him. Go tag him. He has to hear it. I'm telling you right now. So, go ahead and do it. I hope you guys had a fun time listening to this as well. Cool, I guess. Peace out, guys.
Thank you. Thanks for the outro.